48.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Well, hey, Cove.
Hey, Cove. Hi.
Pastor Dan and Ann here with a midweek update. We're in our backyard, and wow, such a week. We are in the middle of multiple messes in our country, aren't we? All the investigations into the riot from last week, and the denial of responsibility, and the impeachment voting, and the pandemic surging out of control in some places, and vaccination sputtering, and economy drying up, just people in need, conspiracy theories everywhere. We are a mess. That's my conclusion. And we're not the first. And the last two mornings, I've been looking in Psalm 10 a little bit. And like a number of the Psalms, Psalm 10 shifts gears about halfway through. So the first half sounds like this. Why, Lord, do you stand far off? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? The wicked man hunts down the weak. His mouth is full of lies and threats. He lies in wait to catch the helpless. His victims are crushed. Rise up, Lord. Lift up your head, O God, and don't forget the helpless. That's part of Psalm 10. And I think we all feel like that at different times. It seems like greedy, selfish people are prospering and not paying for their deeds. Lord, why do you stand far off when there's bad stuff going on? But then, same psalm, the tone of the prayer just abruptly shifts.
But do you see? No, but you do see. Indeed, you note trouble and grief, that you may take it into your hands. You do hear the desire of the afflicted. You encourage them and listen to their cry.
Isn't that interesting? So, God, why don't you notice? And then, oh, you do notice. In fact, our trouble and our grief is taken into your hands. And it's interesting to me that it doesn't say that God fixes it. God doesn't eliminate the cause of trouble instantly, though ultimately evil will not win. But it says God is with us, that he hears us, that he knows, that he holds our trouble, that he's with us in the mess, which of course is the whole miracle of incarnation, of God with us in Christ. He jumps into the worst of it on our behalf. We are a mess.
Yes.
And we're not alone. So how do we navigate these days? I'm going to let Ann escape back to her studio, and I've got just three sort of practical thoughts about that. One is that I think it's good to just acknowledge that this is a messy and difficult time. We're not the first people to be in a huge mess. Much as we may wish that the human story were a much neater, cleaner one, this is pretty familiar. Much as we think life has been miserable for, what, 9, 10 months now, and maybe we're bored or disgusted or struggling, we have to remember we have brothers and sisters in the world, in refugee camps, in war-torn countries, in situations for whom 9 months of crisis is nothing. The human story is messy, and the task of followers of Jesus is always to find God in the mess and to look for the image of God in messy people and to serve and encourage in the midst of it. So that's one thought, just acknowledging it. Secondly is what the psalm says that Ann and I were reading. We're invited to talk openly to God. The psalmist is our guide in what prayer looks like. And is it okay to mourn? Is it okay to cry out? Is it okay to complain? Is it okay to question God in our prayers? Well, it sure looks like it is. Just as it's okay to give thanks when we notice God's heart and concern and presence. Because prayer is an open conversation with God, and we are privileged to get to avail ourselves of that opportunity. So, just acknowledging the place we're in and then talking openly to God. The third thing, I was reminded this week of something that Mr. Rogers the beloved children's television show host and a Presbyterian pastor, something he used to talk with kids about. He would say, we need to look for the helpers. So in messy situations, look for the helpers. In hard situations, look for the people that are helping. So for us, when there are accusations all around or people are stirring the pot for their own advantage, who are the people who are acting or speaking in helping ways? Look for the helpers, because often those are not the people who are getting the publicity. So a couple thoughts from Psalm 10 for today. Let me just highlight a couple of things before we sign off. One is, you've read or heard about some of this, but most of you know by now our after-school arts and sports program, ASAP, that Karina, our director for these last years, is now gone. She was married recently, and she and her new husband are moving over to Sacramento, and we wish them all of God's blessing as they go. She's done a great job. And we are super blessed to get to welcome Gianna Cesara to be the new director, and we'll have some stuff in the newsletter about her, and also she'll be part of our worship service on Sunday, so we want to welcome Gianna. Secondly, just remember one more reminder that on January 24th, not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, there's a congregational annual meeting by Zoom after the worship time, so about 11:30, and we'll send out the link and the information on that. And then thirdly, on Sunday, January 31st, so 2 weeks from now, weather permitting, we will try meeting outdoors at the Cove for worship, masked, distance, music, but not singing, pretty much like we did on Christmas Eve. And we will live stream that at the same time for people who can't or shouldn't be there. The time is a little bit to be decided. We'll let you know next week. And again, it'll be weather permitting. We may, if it's rainy, we may have to cut it back and just do a live stream that morning. So we're trying some new things in worship, just trying new ways to connect. And so we'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, God bless. Keep your eyes open, watchful for the presence of God in our midst this week. See ya.